Okay, so you're diving headfirst into this whole AI world, huh?
Yeah.
Prepping for a future where, like, robots are writing poetry and coding themselves out of existence. I
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah.
Fascinating stuff.
Yeah.
But here's a thought. Even in that text-driven future, someone's got to keep the toilets flushing, right?
That is very true.
That's where today's deep dive gets unexpectedly interesting.
It's funny how that works, right? We tend to overlook the essential things sometimes.
Yeah.
We're so focused on what's new that we forget about all those bedrock systems that really keep everything running smoothly behind the scenes.
And trust me, septic tank servicing is about as behind the scenes as it gets.
Yeah.
We're talking RoleCatcher's guide on this often avoided at all cost profession, and let's just say it's not for the faint of nose.
Definitely not.
But, and here's the kicker, it's way more than just a dirty job. This isn't your grandpa's outhouse. There's serious tech involved now.
Exactly. What's so fascinating to me is how technology is transforming even these traditional trades. And we see it with RoleCatcher's breakdown of the septic tank servicer's world. It's not just about shovels and hoses anymore. Think remote monitoring sensors that can predict problems before they even happen.
Wait, hold it. Back up the honey wagon for a sec. Remote monitoring for a septic tank.
I know, right?
Tell me more about how that works, because that just blew my mind a little.
It's like having this digital guardian angel for your septic system. These sensors are tracking things like your waste levels, even changes in the system's performance. Any red flags, boom alerts go out, and that prevents, those messy emergency situations.
Okay, now that is what I call future-proof. While everyone else is busy teaching robots to do stand-up comedy, these guys are ahead of the curve on the whole preventative maintenance thing.
Yeah.
And with AI potentially automating so many jobs, this kind of stability is gold, right?
Absolutely. RoleCatcher really hits on that point. No matter how tech-savvy we become, certain things are just non-negotiable.
Right.
You can't outsource a clogged septic system to an algorithm, at least not yet.
Touché. So while robots are busy taking our jobs, I might be lining up for that septic tank servicer apprenticeship. But seriously, this whole essential but overlooked thing has got me thinking, what other insights did RoleCatcher have about the actual work? I mean, it can't be all high-tech sensors and avoiding disasters, right?
Right. There's still that hands-on aspect, the nitty-gritty of keeping those systems running.
Yeah.
But even there, it's not what you might expect. The guide really emphasizes the problem-solving and critical thinking involved.
So it's more than just like, oh, something smells funky, better clean it out. There's real deduction happening.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me more about that.
Think of it like this. Every septic system is different, right? They have their own quirks and potential issues. The septic tank servicer is like a detective. They use their knowledge of the system's design, the plumbing, even local regulations to diagnose the problem and then come up with a solution.
See, that's the kind of detail I'm talking about. RoleCatcher really goes beyond the surface here, giving us a feel for the intellectual side of this job. It's not just about what they do, it's about how they think.
Precisely. And that analytical problem-solving mindset, that's valuable in any field, even if you never come face-to-face with a septic tank.
Which brings us to a crucial point for our listeners. You might be thinking, okay, this is all fascinating, but I'm not trading in my laptop for a plunger anytime soon. And that's fair.
Okay.
But here's where it gets interesting.
You're right, not everyone's cut out for the glamorous life of a septic tank servicer.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, those problem-solving skills, that ability to think on your feet and handle those unexpected situations, that's gold in any profession.
Yeah.
Especially as AI starts automating more and more of those routine tasks.
That's like that saying, give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fix a septic system. Okay, maybe I need to work on my proverbs, but you get the point.
Right.
This isn't just about one specific job. It's about developing a skill set that's adaptable and valuable across the board.
And RoleCatcher makes it clear these aren't just those vague, good-to-have skills. They dive into the nitty-gritty. They list things like mechanical aptitude, understanding those complex systems, even compliance with regulations. These are all transferable to fields from plumbing to construction to environmental management.
Well, hold on. I need to write this down.
Right.
This is like that adjacent career paths magic trick.
Right.
You start with septic tank servicing, and suddenly you're pulling out options like a career magician. But let's be real. How do you actually get those skills? It's not like they hand out septic tank servicing degrees at every corner coffee shop.
That's where RoleCatcher's practical side comes in. They break down those entry points, the training, the whole shebang. And you're right, it's not your traditional academic path. Think apprenticeships, on-the-job training, learning from those seasoned pros who've seen it all and probably smelled it too.
Okay, I can see the appeal.
Yeah.
You're not drowning in student loan debt. You're getting paid to learn a trade, and you're picking up skills that robots won't be replacing anytime soon.
But I have to ask, what about the ick factor? Is there any amount of training that prepares you for that?
Well, there's no sugarcoating.
Yeah.
It's definitely not for everyone.
Yeah.
But RoleCatcher does a good job of presenting this balanced view. They highlight those challenges, the less than pleasant aspects, while also emphasizing that sense of accomplishment, the problem-solving satisfaction that comes with the job.
It's like that feeling when you finally solve a really tough puzzle, except instead of a satisfying click, you get, well, let's not go there. But I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah.
It's about finding motivation beyond the surface level, right? It's about taking pride in a job well done, even if it's not always glamorous.
And let's not forget the financial incentive. RoleCatcher provides some pretty eye-opening salary ranges. And honestly, you might be surprised at the earning potential in this field.
Okay, spill the tea. We're all friends here. Give us the numbers. Can you really make a decent living dealing with, you absolutely can. The guide breaks down salaries based on experience, level, location, and even whether you go the self-employed route, which is a whole other level of income potential. We're talking comfortable living, maybe even early retirement if you play your cards, right?
Early retirement funded by septic tanks. It's not a headline you see every day, but it makes sense, right?
Right.
As long as people keep eating well, let's just say there's always going to be a demand for this particular service.
And that's the key takeaway here. In a world that's obsessed with chasing the next big thing, sometimes those most stable and lucrative opportunities are right under our noses or maybe a little further down the drain pipe.
Okay, that's enough plumbing puns for one day. But you've hit on something important, this idea of stability, of having a skill set that's always in demand, that's incredibly valuable in a rapidly changing world. But RoleCatcher doesn't just leave us hanging with a list of transferable skills and a pat on the back. They actually give us a roadmap for where those skills can lead. And that roadmap is surprisingly diverse. It's like that septic tank knowledge unlocks this secret passage to all these other fields I never would have connected.
It's true. RoleCatcher does a fantastic job showcasing those adjacent careers. We've talked about plumbing, but it goes so much further. Wastewater treatment facilities, environmental consulting, even roles in like construction or property inspection.
Oh, wow.
All of those benefit from someone who understands those ins and outs of septic systems.
They have this secret knowledge of what goes on beneath the surface, literally. But let's talk about the future for a minute. With all this AI disrupting industries left and right, what does it even mean for the future of, well, septic stuff? Does RoleCatcher get into that whole crystal ball gazing?
They absolutely do. And it's not just about robots wielding plungers, though I'm sure someone out there is working on that.
Right.
The guide really highlights how this field is becoming more high-tech, more focused on sustainability, which are both huge trends right now.
Okay, hold the phone. Sustainable septic systems? That sounds like something out of a sci-fi novel. What does that even look like?
Think composting toilets, advanced filtration systems, even using natural processes like bacteria and plants to break down waste more efficiently. It's a far cry from those old-school septic tanks you might be picturing.
So not only are we talking about a job that's inherently stable, people got to eat after all, but it's also evolving to align with some of the biggest challenges facing our planet. Now, that's what I call future-proof. And RoleCatcher suggests that this is only going to become more important, right?
Exactly. As awareness of environmental issues grows, that demand for eco-friendly solutions, including septic systems, that's only going to increase. Imagine being at the forefront of that change, implementing those solutions, and making a real difference. That's a powerful motivator.
It's like being an environmental superhero armed with a wrench and a whole lot of knowledge about, well, you know. But seriously, this whole deep dive has been such an eye-opener. Who knew we'd be talking about septic tanks and the future of work in the same breath? It just goes to show you never know where you'll find those hidden gems of career opportunities.
And that's the beauty of a platform like RoleCatcher. It encourages us to look beyond the obvious, to consider those essential but often overlooked fields, and to recognize those transferable skills that can unlock these unexpected career paths.
So to all our listeners out there, whether you're knee-deep in AI research or just trying to figure out your next move, take a page from the Septic Tank Servicer's playbook. Embrace the unexpected. Don't shy away from getting your hands dirty, both literally and figuratively. And remember that sometimes the most essential and rewarding careers are the ones we least expect.
And who knows, maybe you'll be the one designing the first self-cleaning AI-powered zero-waste septic system.
Now you're talking?
The future is full of possibilities.
And on that note, it's time for us to flesh out this episode of The Deep Dive. But before we go, we want to leave you with this. What other hidden jobs do you think deserve a closer look? Hit us up on social media, share your thoughts, and let's keep this conversation flowing. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.